All right, this will be take two because I've gotten a little bit rusty at the live streaming, and my girlfriend just texted me and notified me my audio wasn't working, so I'll try and catch that next time. Last year, at exactly around this time, I was whipping out this worksheet that I try and do once a year, and my girlfriend and I were gonna go through it. It's a bunch of different writing challenges and just mental challenges to think about with goal setting. And we were both so wrapped up in our different projects and stuff that I was like, I'd rather be working right now than taking the time to set goals and doing all of that, which, looking back on it, is a pretty stupid way to think. Because I'm such a big fan of even daily journaling. So that's the whole purpose of daily journaling, is going in and forcing yourself to think ahead and set some goals and prioritize. And if I'm not willing to do that on a yearly basis because I'm too busy, then that's just a form of laziness, really. And so today I was just gonna jump in on my stream and get to work because I have a big goal that I want to hit this week. But if I can't take the time to set some yearly goals or do some yearly review, then my priorities are not straight, I guess. So I'm gonna pull up this workbook and I'm just gonna go through it real quick. I'm not gonna do it right now. This is actually 2021. I had worked on updating it for 2021. It's honestly more like 10 years old. I worked on some blogs. We're making some content. I took some content that I helped create and I modified it into my own version. So this would be the ideal thing to do. For 2022, I'd probably cut out like the vision board. I'm not sure that I care too much about the vision board. I might have cut some stuff out of there already. Let's see. Oh yeah, I do have a few pages in here. There's like a blank check and stuff. That stuff doesn't really mean much to me. I'd rather focus more on purpose and stuff. So there's some cool pages in here. Some little mental exercises. I'll probably be filling this out as I go this week and editing it for the 2022 version. So keep an eye on my channel. I'll probably do a stream on it later on this week. But for now, I want to focus on past year review. Tim Ferriss just released a blog post and podcast about this a week or two ago. And his point is that instead of goal setting, he likes to just review for the year. I don't think goal setting is bad, but I think he's right about this maybe being more effective or more powerful than goal setting. And when it comes to reviewing my year, I'm kind of in luck because over the past year and a half, I've been tracking this stuff pretty meticulously. I even created a template for this thing I like to do called the Bonsai Challenge. And it starts with journaling. Then it goes to a bunch of other things that all of these things combined make me my ideal version of myself. I think it really primes me, like brings me to the table ready to work and ready to get stuff done, really focused. I don't focus on doing all of these things every day because that's definitely burnout. I'll let you read through them: meditation, journaling, publishing, exercise, blah. You can read the details. If you wanted to copy this template and use something like that, then you could actually swap them out, delete them, whatever. This is for me personally. I'd like to get about 6 of 10 of these done a day. That'd be my goal. And so what's cool is you can come down here and you can add a note down here and it'll give you these little check boxes. So I'll go through, and some of them are kind of freebies, like measuring If I'm just checking a box, that's a free one, and journaling or whatever. The cool thing is I can come into this default view right here, and I'll show you an example of the ones I've done. So this was part 2. I split it into 2 different Notion documents, but I can come through and look at all these checkboxes. And then I have a journal entry for all of these, so I can go in and see what I was working on for that day. So I could go really in depth with this past year review if I wanted. All I'm going to do for now is just look at the 30,000 foot view of it. And as you can see, for the first part of 2021, I was pretty consistent. Like, I don't know that I could have expected any better than that. Now, coming up on May 27th, my daughter was born, and looks like I was even pretty consistent for a minute after that, but I think things changed a bit after that, if I am to be honest. So let me come into part 2 right here. Look at this default view. So this is July on, and start out pretty good. But as you can tell, I eventually got to a point around maybe October, or yeah, probably around September or October, where I just completely stopped caring. I don't even know if I was doing these things. I definitely just didn't even care to be measuring them. I just got really lazy. And the only time I was really putting anything in here was when I was doing some journaling. So yeah, here we are, like towards the bottom now. And let's see. Yeah, this is the most consistent day I've had in a long time. So I'm going to get back into it. I'm going to try and be as consistent as possible. Paternity leave could be the excuse if I were to look back on the year. But really, it's just I changed my priorities halfway through the year. And life goes on. I have my family now. And now I have to also be consistent with what I'm working on. So that will be my goal moving forward, honestly. I could go more into depth about it. There's a process on Tim Ferriss's website. Let's see, I put this in the description actually. Yep, Tim Ferriss's forget New Year's resolutions and conducting a past year review instead. He just has you go through and do positive, negative for 2 columns for each week of the year. That's pretty intense. I don't know if I'll actually do that, but that's the idea. Then look at the 20% of each column that produced the most reliable and powerful results, or even the opposite. What was the 20% that was the worst part about it? Then you go through and you create a not to do list. This is based off of people and activities and commitments that weren't helpful, to say the least. So yeah, I would like to do that. I'll probably be doing that later on this week. But for now, I focus on my system that I have going here, and it makes it pretty easy to go back and review. So here we are. I'm just giving you guys a look into my process. I'm a little bit rusty now that I've taken some time off, but as you can see, my title up here is like the name of my today's stream, and then my journal entry is my thoughts and my outline about today's stream. I'll go through the problems and I'll talk myself through different issues. In programming, they call it rubber ducking. It's like you have a rubber ducky and you keep it on your desk, and then when you hit problems, you pick it up and you talk to it. I don't know that I would do that. This is probably how I would do that is I talk to myself in a journal. So here's all the stuff I'm going to be covering today, and I just put it in this little Notion page right there. I usually keep this on calendar view so that I can just come in here and add a new entry when it's a new day. But yeah, let's talk just briefly about some of my goals for the year with Bonsai. I don't really want to set anything that's like too lofty because I don't quite know what my goals are right now with it. I would love to have 1 million customers and $1 billion in annual revenue, but if I set that goal and I don't get that, then I'm just like, why did I even waste my time setting that goal? Because sometimes you change your priorities. So right now I am interested in making it a product that's really different from anything. That's why we're doing the Web3 angle on this. That's kind of a meaningless statement to just say I want it to be unique, but I really do want the design experience and the user experience to just feel like something that a lot of people haven't experienced before. That's not just in the design, but I would say a lot of it is. I'm really interested in some grants or investments this year. Last year, I thought I was interested in getting some VC money or some angel money, and the more I thought about it, I'm just really glad that I didn't go that route, because I think every Web3 company should probably be structured as a DAO, and traditional angels and VCs are not really up to par with that yet. Some of them are, a couple of them, but I think it would have taken things down a negative path, honestly, if I would have got some investment money last year. But I'm more interested in these Web3 grants and bounties that are going around online. So if I could get one of those, or 2 of those, or 3 of those, I think that would be a good goal this year. I want at least 1 person or employee to make money developing on Bonsai. I'm setting the bar really low with that one, because honestly, if just 1 person were doing that, that would make me pretty stoked. As far as customers go, I'm just going to throw out 10 customers, setting the bar really low. Like, if I could have 10 quality customers, I would way rather have that than 100 or 1,000 or any crazy number that I could pull out of my ass. So I'm going to go very narrow and not very wide. I feel like last year I was trying to add as many features as possible because I wanted it to compete with pretty much every platform out there. And right now I'm going to focus on competing with Patreon. Now, I don't know if you've heard of Kajabi. It's more of an LMS, but I was looking at some of their benefits versus Patreon. And it's clear that Kajabi is like what I was doing last year. It's just very generic, and I'm not saying Kajabi's not a good product, but they do a lot of things, whereas Patreon's very specific. So that's what I mean by vertical, is I'm going to focus on going really narrow in the vertical and not trying to do as many features all at once. I think that was probably one of my downfalls last year, was just picking different features back and forth. So briefly, those are some of my goals for 2022. And now we can jump into getting some work done. So here we are with the current version. Right here is pure Patreon. And then I'm messing around with doing some community and courses right here. I'm not sure if ultimately this will end up above or below the tiers. I think ultimately the data would decide that. You could just run a split test on it. But on the surface, it kind of looks like it's coming along. There's some more things that I need to do on the back end to really get the experience down. Like, I need to have a cancellation page, for example, and I need to add different options for different users within this login modal. So depending on who you are, it'll show you different settings. If you are an admin or an author, you can edit the page from the front end, and it'll give you some different options through here. We can look at this Trello board that I updated from what I journaled out today. I'm going to get rid of the classrooms. So this tab used to have an embedded metaverse, basically. The classroom, the virtual classroom for each community. And I would love to experiment with that down the road, but ultimately it's a iframe that you can embed. So if you allowed a Patreon where you could embed an iframe on it, then it wouldn't even need to be a specific type of product like that. So we'll leave this more generic. I think what I'll do is split up the dashboard for now, so there'll be no dashboard. It would probably just be posts, and then over here I'd probably have courses, and you could rename courses whatever you want, galleries or products. And then over here I might put pricing. I'm not sure. Just gonna do a little bit of design mix up with this. Simplify this, get rid of the beta stuff. It's just process of elimination right now. I'm just trying to simplify the product as much as possible. So that's what I'll be doing with this main type of modal right there. I'm doing the login modal I mentioned. Categories. Yep, I'm simplifying categories again, so it's going to be posts and courses for now. And then a cancellation page are tiers. One thing I was thinking about with that is I'm probably going to make it so if you are on a starter plan, then you only get one tier. That's what Patreon does. And then if you move up to the pro or the third tier, then you can have as many tiers as you want, basically. So Bonsai will have 3 tiers on Bonsai's page, which I will be working on a specific page for Bonsai. And I think that'll probably do it for the day. If I'm feeling spicy, I can get some of this extra stuff or just spend some time on design. So that is the quick rundown for the day. Looks like we are 18 minutes in. I'm going to take a quick little break, and when I come back, I'm just going to get started on all that stuff. All right, man. I do take it for granted how easy streaming was for me when I really had the flow going last year and I was doing it almost every day. Cause to jump back into it, honestly now, it's like a little bit nerve-wracking and I'm just getting all the equipment set up and everything. It's all a lot more difficult than it kind of seems. When it's going, when you're in the habit of it, it's easier than it seems. So I'm just opening up iTerm right here. You know, if you're just jumping into this for the first time, way back when I was doing my earlier tutorials, I cover basically what I call the speedrun process. And the speedrun, which is this course right here, it's just getting the site up as quickly as possible. So that's not quite up to date. I'll have to kind of circle back and cover some of that down the road. But right now, this is the current working version, and this is how the development process works on it. So we're opening up iTerm, which is our terminal. We are booting up our virtual machine with this vagrant up command. Then another tab, we go into our scripts directory, which is where we execute most of the scripts from, most of the custom ones at least. And then over here, yarn run start. Once we're up and going, that will be the live reload in our browser, so that when we update the code, it refreshes it in the browser automatically, and you don't have to keep switching and hitting refresh. Okay, that should be good. I'm just gonna crack the window. It's a little toasty in here. All right, now I can do the yarn run start command. When that's good to go, that'll just boot up right here in the browser at localhost 3000. Let me quit out of Photoshop. Save me some RAM. Alrighty. And then over here I should have GitHub desktop. I don't know why I can't talk today. GitHub desktop app right here. Then I launch Atom from there. You could really use whatever text editor you want. I just like how they're connected. I have been working on 2 different machines, so I always want to make sure that I fetch for any changes, and we're pretty much good to go. I didn't tell it to refresh. What is it doing? All right, we're good. I'll just come back into Trello, and I'm gonna just work my way down this list. So this is what's in progress right here. I'm gonna get rid of classrooms, and I will change dashboard while I do that. So once I get all of the basic functionality in the UX to where I want it, hopefully this week, I'm gonna come in here and start really cleaning out a lot of bloat that I have in here. Doing some reorganization would also be wise. So if things seem a little overly complex right now, it'll probably be simplified down the road, but it'll be similar. So this is how this all works right here. We have our layouts, and we're working on the home page, so I'll just open up the home page layout. For the guest users, we're seeing the hero, the explore, and the pricing, which is the hero, this is explore, and this is pricing. That's the main part of the page. We also have our header up here. We have a FAQ underneath that. Right down here, and then we have the footer. So you can see the basic structure of the page right there. When you're logged in, you only see explore because it gets rid of the pricing page and the hero as well. This is written in Blade, which is, I describe it as a cleaner version of PHP. It's more of a templating engine for PHP, but I love how it cleans up the code. And then this right here is called Sage Directives. Let me just pull that up real quick, because that could be really confusing. So this is an open source project based off of Sage. It's not directly from Roots, but Logix, which is one of the main contributors to the project, he came up with this. And it's basically just a bunch of shorthand for different Blade snippets. There's a whole list of them over here. So that's probably why this code might look a little unrecognizable, but that's what the guests see, that's what the users see. So from here, I will come into partials, explore. No, actually, since we're working on this modal right here, this actually isn't under explore, I don't believe. Let me just make sure. If I come into, so we have layouts, modals. No, I believe it is in explore. That way I don't have to have two separate components to worry about. So if we go into partials, explore, yep, you'll see partials, communities grid, courses grid. I believe it's partials communities. Communities, Bonsai main. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about when it's probably a little over complexified right here. I've built this as a really clean way to scale it, but I think there'll be cleaner ways down the road. So this could all change up a little bit. So I come into Bonsai main. This is the main modal window right there. And then we have communities Bonsai accordion right here, which is just the accordion top part to it, right up there. And then there's an inner part of the accordion. So, yeah, this is way too many layers deep. This is like Inception over here. Tab 1 is the first one, tab 2, tab 3. Actually, I think there's 4 currently set up. I'll probably delete one of them since we're trying to just really simplify and clean up the code right now. Let's come up to accordion, and this is where we'll change this. So we'll do posts, courses. I'm actually wondering if I should do courses before. See, it's all these little details that it's not even worth like spending time lamenting over, because ultimately you could split test it. That's best if you can just build it right the first time. So I guess under posts for me, I'm thinking, how would Bonsai utilize posts? Because that's what Patreon is just posts. If you could customize that, then maybe I would put streams. For now, I'll just put posts and courses here, pricing. Yep. That works with me. A guest would see pricing. Okay. So this is wrapped in. The guest, it means that you're not going to see that if you're logged in as a user. Okay, now we're going to come into enter. We have tab 1, tab 2, tab 4. Yeah, I deleted tab 3 for now. So, before I change that, we'll change that later. Let's focus on tab 1. Alright, that is a title. So that's the page Bonsai that's grabbing that. And then I'm going to keep these, I'm going to give a Discord and a GitHub and a full page. Full page should open the permalink. Yep. Join. Do I want to have this button right here? I'm just going to comment that out for now. I'm not quite sure about that. I'll definitely want a call to action somewhere, but I'm not quite sure how I feel about that. I feel like it's a little cleaner without it. All right, we'll be getting rid of start here. Then we used to have this one, pin topics. Would we want a pinned post section? We'll play with that idea for a second. Might delete that. Yeah, I really need to clean up this code base, but I've just been playing around with what it's actually going to be, so. Community Bonsai courses main. Alright, so I do have some courses in here already. Huh. I think I broke something. Can quickly come back to GitHub to see what I changed. I just changed a couple words in there. Huh. shouldn't have changed anything that would break anything. Unless this is acting funny for some reason, I don't know. Weird. All right, let's go back through that. I just undid everything that I'd even touched since I started the stream. Now it's working again. And I'll slowly go back through it. That definitely shouldn't break anything. I feel like it had to have been in here somewhere. I just got rid of this. Finally, I'm getting rid of like the last bit of circle that's embedded in here. You know, last year I spent a lot of time working on this circle integration, and I thought it was pretty cool. I thought it would be really relevant to a community that uses circle, but honestly I feel like, I don't know how I feel about the future of circle. I was really excited about them at first, and now that I've used the product quite a bit, I feel like it's kind of lackluster. I would probably just rather use Discourse or Slack. Maybe it will make up for that one day. The mobile app is pretty decent, but I don't know, there's a lot to be desired, I feel like. Okay. Oh, that's probably... It's probably calling this partial. Let's just get rid of that and see what happens. I don't think that partial actually exists anymore. There we go. It'll speed up the load time a lot once I just completely get rid of circle too. I thought I actually had already gotten rid of it, but there's a couple iframes remaining. Alright, that's better. Now what happened to the pinned? Oh, I get rid of that too. Just get rid of this. That would just be a loop on a category anyways. Not quite sure how I feel about the pin posts yet. We'll play with that. So here we have the courses, and down here is events. For now, I think those can be posts. Like if someone wanted to run events off of this, then you could use the courses, or sorry, the posts. And then on this second tab, that Bonsai will use as courses. This will probably be custom, so you could probably name it whatever you want. You could probably just put events in there. It's just its own custom post type, basically. And let's get rid of this. So we're getting rid of members as well. That was a little beta feature that I was thinking about implementing. I think there's some really interesting implications for Web3 with social media. It sounds like an interesting idea to decentralize social media. I was just listening to the Bankless podcast today. They were talking about Jack Dorsey and Web3 and Twitter, and they seem like it's unclear on what decentralized social media even means. I think if I could apply it to Bonsai, I think it means having it open source and having customers run their own servers, or at least have ownership over their own servers. And that way you could just use APIs to communicate between different websites. Because on this Pro plan, the Sensei plan, you do have your own individual website. And if you have like ownership over that, then I'd say that's pretty decentralized. And then you need to make the actual face of the social media platform, or whatever it is basically just doing API calls. And then like a DAO would run that website. I don't know. Kind of off topic, but something I think about. All right, how's it coming? So, pin posts. I'm just gonna get rid of that for now. I think these will be the post itself. So I'll bring this little part over into the other tab. Would you want post categories here, maybe? I'm just looking at how Patreon does it. I could probably just get rid of the tabs, but for some reason I'm just so attached to them. Because it's such a good way to condense a lot of information that would otherwise just be vertical. Like, you have to scroll on this. If it had tabs, then you wouldn't. But who knows if that's even a good thing. I could just get rid of them and have posts above, and then some featured categories, and then pricing below. 2 tabs, I don't know if that even makes sense. For some reason 3 seems better. maybe under posts you have post categories with posts listed underneath them. And then on this tab, it's something featured or specific. So you could put events, you could put courses. Yeah. I think that's the way to go for now. So I'm actually gonna bring some of this stuff back. So under posts, I would have, let's say you get a featured one up top if you want. I can just duplicate this. Okay, yeah, I have 2 courses, so that'll work if those go under a category, under courses, and then down here for events, for ID flex, that's just a timestamp. Right here would be the content. This would be I'm wondering if I'll use ACF so that you can edit this, or if it'll just all be built into the loop based on the categories. I'm gonna do streams. So I'll have courses and streams. For now, I'll put live streams. Get rid of this badge or spam. And I don't really need a counter yet. It'd be cool to build that in later. Maybe be able to count how many posts were in the loop or in the category. But I'll skip that for now. Calendar. So this will be the content inside. Inner courses main. Tab 1. Alright, let's see if that worked. It's kind of going slow at the moment because I'm just getting back into things, but once this flow really gets going, I find this actually faster than designing in like Figma or anything, because once I get flowing with this stuff, then I can design it just as fast as I could in browser as I could in Figma or Sketch. Sometimes even faster when it comes to scale. Okay, that's working. So then these would be live streams. I put a loop for different posts of live streams. I'll just hard code it for now. I'll come back and probably do the loops probably tomorrow or the next day. Okay, Bonsai courses speedrun, Bonsai courses masterclass. I can probably just get rid of those for now. Yeah, these are like 3-layer deep nested. Get rid of those, then it will just be 1 layer deep. That's okay under courses. And yeah, I do have the ability to go 3 layers deep like that. I think it's pretty cool, but that would probably be more of a custom feature because yeah, then that would make this like a category, and that would be a parent category. Let's see, can I list loops of like child categories? I'm not even sure, so I'm gonna keep it simple for now and just go 1 layer deep. I think if anything, Bonsai would have like admin privileges maybe to do that, whereas these starter plans wouldn't. We'll see. Quick start and masterclass. I need to wrap these differently. Inside of inner, right? Yeah. And then li. No, it doesn't have to be inside of an li, I don't think.